We've all seen what David Benavidez can do. The hand speed, the combinations, the pressure, the stoppages. There's a reason they call that man the Mexican Monster. And we all know about Artur Beterbiev. We see the destruction that this man brought on the division as he was going on his way to a 100% knockout ratio before eventually ending up becoming the undisputed champion. But after the performance that we saw Beterbiev put on against Bivol, there's people wondering if David Benavidez can beat him. On the one hand, Beterbiev beating Bivol was a situation where he didn't look his best, but he was also fighting the best opponent of his career. So was this a case where he always looked that way? And he's always been the same guy, but as he stepped up his competition and fought the best of the best, he just didn't look as impressive as we've always seen? Or is this a case where it's like, man, the guy's 39 years old. Father Time is catching up with him. He just came off a ruptured meniscus. He's not going to be that same guy that we saw when he was younger. A big part of the debate that we're looking at when we're talking about him versus David Benavidez is which Beterbiev would show up in the ring on fight night. And look, something that we got to remember is that boxing is a sport where we only see guys 2, maybe 3 times a year. You can get old overnight. And it didn't really happen overnight, but the people only see you twice a year. It appears to have happened overnight. So we saw what we saw when Beterbiev stepped in there. We saw a guy who was having trouble tracking down Bivol. He wasn't able to get his shots off. He wasn't able to get his feet planted. He wasn't able to do what he wanted to do in that regard because of the lateral movement. Bivol was the younger guy, more athletic, more fleet of foot. We're talking about Benavidez fighting Morel in January. If he comes out victorious in that one, then all of a sudden we'd be looking at a fight between these two in summer of 2025. Beterbiev is going to be that much older, and once again, he'd be stepping in there against a younger, more athletic guy who's going to have faster feet. But let's be perfectly honest with each other. We both know that David Benavidez and Bivol have completely different styles, and styles make fights. And when we look at these guys, it's interesting the way that they match up. Both Beterbiev and Benavidez like to be on the front foot. They like to apply pressure. They like to stalk their man down, hunt him down, back him up against the ropes, get him in the corner, and really start to be able to do that damage. They both like to get in there and do work. Okay, and what I mean by that is neither one of these men show up to the arena on fight night hoping that it goes 12 rounds. Neither one of them in there on a round-by-round basis thinking about getting points, edging rounds out, winning a decision, hoping that the judges see things the same way that they do. That's not the way these guys show up and fight. Benavidez is the taller, longer fighter, faster hands. I think he punches better in combination. He's got a lot going on for him. But let's also remember the fact that what we really think of when we think of David Benavidez, he made it all of his claim to fame, and he did everything at super middleweight. 175, it may only be 7 pounds away, man, but it is a world of difference. Okay, number one, he was huge at super middleweight. Now he's just a slightly big light heavyweight. He used to have great cardio, and he could apply that pressure and that work rate the entire fight. At 175, we saw him get tired. Now, that's not abnormal. When a guy moves up in weight, it's typical for him to get tired. Everybody likes to think, oh, he's not cutting weight. If he doesn't cut weight, he's not going to be as depleted. It's going to make him be even better and be able to do more and this and that. There's logic behind that reasoning. But let's not forget the fact that when you move up in weight, you're carrying all that extra weight for that whole fight. And there is time and time again that we've seen fighters move up a weight class, sometimes even 2 weight classes. They get fatigued. Their body's not used to fighting at that weight for 12 rounds. We saw David Benavidez get fatigued in his first time out at 175, right? Now, I would be the one to admit that it looks like his body will adapt. He's got a big frame. He should be able to handle it. He likes to get in the gym. He's a gym rat. He works all the time. I think that his cardio will be fine. But until we see him go a hard 12 rounds like we saw him go at 168, we can't say that he's going to be able to do that at 175. He's not going to be able to bully dudes as much. Okay, well, he was weighing in at 168 and the guy's coming into the ring at what? 190, 195, something like that. He's overwhelmingly the bigger man when he steps in there. That's not the case when he's stepping in at 175. When he's fighting at 175, if he comes in at 195, that's going to be much more in line with the people that he's facing. So it's going to be interesting to see how his punch resistance holds up at 175. It's going to be interesting to see how his punch lands and hurts people at 175. These are all questions that we have because we only have one fight at 175 and the very impressive body work that's at 168. And when we're talking about Beterbiev, he'd be stepping in there as the stronger guy, the guy with just the absolute devastating power, the guy who's got this telephone pole type jab and the way that he's able to get distance. Who's going to back up? Because I don't think that both of these men are just going to meet in the middle of the ring and that's going to be it. Because whoever starts backing up, whoever doesn't want to handle the power or the pressure or the work rate or they don't like the distance and the way things are going and they have to change it up, man, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Because on the one hand, I look and I think David Benavidez is tailor-made for Artur Beterbiev. He gets hit. Everybody knows that David Benavidez is no defensive guru. He's going to come in and get hit. What's going to happen when he does? We say, oh, look at the way Bivol was able to avoid getting hit. Dude, Bivol was getting hit through the glove, and this was all getting messed up. He was using massive amounts of lateral movement. That's not the way we see David Benavidez fight. David Benavidez is a north and south type fighter more so than we see from Bivol. What's that mean? That means he's going to be in front of Artur. He's going to be there to be hit. That means all that picking up the front foot and changing and moving around and everything that Bivol was doing to blunt the offense of Artur Beterbiev, those are the things that David Benavidez is not going to do. Okay, he's got a little bit better upper body movement, a little bit better head movement, right? He's got the faster head. Dude, it'll be fascinating to see this fight should it play out. And let's not forget, the younger athletic man has a built-in advantage. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win. We've seen younger athletic guys get knocked out for a long time. But I'll tell you what, man, this will be a fascinating fight should we end up getting to see it. Now, he's in a position to get it, right? Because he's already all the way up here. He's already the number one contender according to the ring in the WBC for Beterbiev's belt. But I think there's going to be a high probability that we see the rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol. We're going to see David Benavidez fighting David Morrell in January. Should this one happen, we're talking about it being lined up sometime in the summer. I worry about Beterbiev's age. You know, on the one hand, I want to believe that getting a little bit of extra time coming back from that meniscus injury, he's going to be even better. Body will be a little bit more fully healed. He'll be ready to go, kind of getting into things and getting in the groove. I want to believe that Bivol presented him just stylistically an incredibly tough matchup. So what we saw from him there, in the way that was fight was a little bit of a letdown, I'll kind of say, because we wanted to see more explosiveness and more fireworks, that was really due to the way that styles match up and the brilliant game plan and the execution that Bivol brought to the table. That's not what we would see if he would be fighting David Benavidez. So who knows? But let me know what you guys think. You know, because prior to this fight with Bivol, I don't think there was many people at all that were even entertaining the thought that David Benavidez was going to be able to go in there at any point in time and put it on Artur Beterbiev. We've even got people saying that he may be able to put it on him in the sense of getting a stoppage late in the fight because he's able to overwhelm him with the physicality, with the hand speed, with the combination punching, with the pressure, like as though we're talking about Artur's days are done. A couple days ago, he just goes out there and snatches up the undisputed title at 175. Hasn't been done in over 2 decades. And there's already people talking about him as though he's really not the best in the division. He's just the guy who's currently holding the belts. Let me know what you guys think.